Hey, everybody. That is Gary Smith.
Hello there.
That is Kaz Kenny.
Kapow!
And I am Eddie Bramble, and this is episode 53 of the Blackwater's Edge podcast.
Oh, man, we got a great guest today, don't we, man?
Yes, sir.
I love that guy. All right, so look, we're going to talk a little bit about the fishing report.
Yeah, start us off with the fishing report, yep.
So it's getting cold. It's gotten cold here the last 2 days, and the winds have been pretty extravagant, and fishing has been pretty much miserable. You know, if you can find if you can find a place to tuck in, and you know some of those spots, and you get under a bridge and you can hide out, then there's places that you can go and you can catch some fish. You know, Key Wallace has been pretty much the most reliable
Key
spot.
Wallace has been fire for a week and a half. Fire,
unreal,
absolute
dude.
fire.
And here's the thing. I mean, think about the number of people that are out there. You know, I was talking to Damien. Damien was running some bait over to Vienna for a friend of ours, right? And Damien
I
called
didn't
me.
know you had friends.
I know, I don't. I pay him. I pay him good. I give him free baits. That's what I do. Give him free baits. But anyway, he says, "You're not gonna believe this, man." He's like, "I was driving over and I saw probably 8 to 10 being reeled in, and then when I came back, I lost count at 10 how many were being reeled in as I came back an hour later."
No
Couldn't
doubt.
get a shoe off while you're driving. Count some more.
But I mean, everything has had a time here in the last 2 weeks. You know, all the spots have lit up at some point or another and caught a lot of fish. You know, here's the thing I want to talk about. You know, a lot of people are asking about white perch because they're seeing the videos and stuff that we're doing and things like that. Our resident white perch are gone. We don't have a resident population anymore. So what you see right now coming into the Blackwater is that you've got, you know, people coming, the migratories coming in. That's what you're seeing, basically. Right. And what really set these fish off was when these migratory fish showed up. You know, Justin had just set the nets 2 weeks prior. We hadn't seen any fish. You know, we couldn't figure out what was going on. And then as soon as them white perch showed up, they were right behind them, ass deep and going in the net. You know what I mean? So, you know, the net fish numbers that we're seeing are just crazy, man. I mean, Eddie, you see what we had last year and what we're getting now already this early, you know?
It's more fish. They're bigger fish, and they're earlier than last year. Yeah. It's unreal. It's a crazy explosion.
Last year was a kind of crazy year. You know, we didn't really get a nice fishing season, so to say. It stayed kind of mild and kind of warm, you know? So I think last year we had probably a much more successful spawning year than the year before. You got to understand, when we get these cold snaps early, like October, you know, and then we get into the cold, and I'm ice fishing by Thanksgiving somewhere. You know, that water's gotten cold as can be. I mean, them fish ain't as active, you know what I'm saying? When we get them stretches of warm water or warm weather, last year we had fry balls in the late part of October and November.
I was going to say, it was almost Thanksgiving. It was Halloween anyway.
I remember it was April last year. I wouldn't be surprised there are fry balls out there. There
is. I mean, I've already seen it.
It's already been warm enough for them to spawn.
Yeah, it has been.
You know, we had that shot of that jag of hot there for them 80-degree days and stuff like that.
It takes 2 or 3.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. There was enough days there of warm weather for somebody to do something, have a little hobbling-gaga somewhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, as far as the fishing goes, it's, you know, snakeheads, a few white perch. I like bullhead catfish, you know, just because they're small. You can just, I don't mean to be gross, but you just snap the head back and you pull the skin off, and it's like eating a chicken wing, you know, kind of like puffer fish, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like that. You know, we've noticed the last 2 years that they love eating these catfish, man.
They do.
You know, so.
Why don't you talk real quick about the one you found the other day with Justin, the one that fell out of the mouth.
Okay. So we've had a few fish. We went live with the one that we caught.
Yeah.
So that fish was 32 inches long.
31 inches.
31 inches, and it had what was the gizzard? She had 9 inches or something.
No, it was bigger than that. It was at least 12 inches.
It was 13 and a quarter.
That's 13, yeah.
This was the first one, the gizzard shad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to show the people, you know, because you hear my snakeheads didn't have nothing. They're not eating everything. So I'm trying to show people that when they have a fresh meal in their belly, if you get a little bit past there, you can see the remnants of what they just digested.
Right. Well, and people need to remember, too, and we've talked about this so many times already, it just feels like we're beating a dead horse, but still a lot of people don't realize this, how quickly they digest food. I mean, it's just in 24 hours, it's just they're gone, and stomachs are empty again.
Right.
And it's nothing for a 14-inch fish to be inside of a 28-inch snakehead and be gone in less than a day, and people don't understand that yet.
The other one that we had was the carp.
Yes.
So that was a 12.5 pound, or no, it was a 9 pound. No, ours was 9.5.
That was 9.5 pounds, yes.
Okay, the other fish that had the carp. So we had one in there that was.
That fish was only 27 or 28 inches.
28 inches, I
and
think
it had
was.
a 14 or 15-inch carp in it?
Yep.
I can't
No,
remember.
18.
18.
No.
18. You're right.
No,
Yeah.
No, it was an 18-inch carp.
Yeah, that's right, because it was 3 or
Yep.
4 inches bigger than your foot. That's
Yep,
right. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So it had an 18-inch carp in it, and the snakehead was only literally
It was like 28 inches.
28, 30. I mean, it was good size, and it was very thick and
Oh,
very
yeah,
healthy.
it was a
you know
fat,
what I
healthy
mean?
fish for sure.
And I thought it was probably going to be 2 fish, but Eddie was right. He said, "No, I think we're looking at 1." You know, I really thought, man, this thing's double dipping. Look at this.
But that
sucker,
carp,
you know?
I mean, that carp wasn't even down his mouth all the way. It fell out of his mouth right in the basket.
So a lot of people don't know. So like I used that white perch to show folks, and Mike Stewart did a little video and posted that on the page to show you how resilient these fish are. So Justin had that fish maybe 3 hours, and I mean literally had an inch hole in its head. They haven't quite checked out yet, so they're still in that twitch nerve kind of phase.
Man, they can be in that forever.
Yeah, so especially when you put them on ice and you keep them cold, it just prolongs that. So when you grab one of those fish, and if you get them in the middle, if they've got something and they're in that twitchy nerve state, let's say, they'll drop that fish when it folds in half in your hand. Boom. And that's what happened. And when that carp fell out, I looked at him like, dude. And he was just looking at me like, are you kidding? Right? I said, yeah, but remember, man, they don't eat bass, man. Bass are too big for them to eat, right? So I don't know. I just, the white perch, the white perch was a 9-inch white perch, and that was in 18-inch fish. 18-inch fish. 9-inch white perch. It's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I think, I'm not trying to be this blood and guts and gory guy, okay? Right. I'm trying to share with you what we're seeing here. That's it. I'm not trying to show mass bodies and all this stuff like everybody wants to think.
And it's interesting, though, what we see this year. Everything we've cut open, I mean, not everything, but most of what we've cut open so far
has contents.
And not just that, but what are the contents?
Gravid. I mean, they got...
What are the contents?
Right.
They're carp and shad.
Carp and shad.
Why is that?
Because there's nothing else to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Because we know they don't like carp and shad.
They don't.
Because
pantry's getting empty, buddy.
Exactly. For 5 years, we've cut up snakehead now, and we have not seen carp and shad in their bellies until this year.
Not in these kind of numbers.
No,
I mean, we've seen them
I mean.
here and there. Last year when we saw the first one that Cornflower put up, and I think that carp was close to 2 pounds or 3 pounds.
Was
it was bigger than what I got. That was probably 18-inch fish, 20-inch fish,
We'll be able to tell real soon.
We're going to know after
when we
this
get
year.
in there in the ditch.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're eating the carp in there, we'll be able to tell because they've never eaten them before.
And,
exactly.
and this is the thing I thought about. Them carp never really use these ditches like hideouts. You know what I'm saying? And in the last 3 years, if you pay attention, a lot of these little skinny ditches off to the side somewhere are just packed tight with.
Yeah.
So we've got a big 3-year.
Well, it's funny because
our 3-year fish are about this big right now, which is what we're seeing everywhere, and I'm talking loads of them. You know what I mean?
It's funny to me because for as long as we've been fishing these snakeheads now, everywhere you go, like this is what I've always told people coming in the store: if there's carp around, don't fish for snakeheads there because they're not there. They don't mingle. They don't like being around each other. If carp are there, the snakehead have moved out. Find somewhere else to fish.
You know what I think also has to do with
bellies.
it too with the carp is the carp muddy the water up. You know what I mean? And the snakeheads do not like.
Well, they already can't see well.
Right, and like think about like runoff, like the things I've been showing us lately. We get to an area we've had a heavy rain. The fish completely push out of that canal or whatever because it's brown now. And when you get out there and you can find that ridge line, whatever you want to call it, current break, that's where you find the snakeheads. You know what I mean? So I think that the carp have realized if I keep this area muddy enough, I'm not going to have to worry about a problem.
I don't think that's as much as just their bottom feeders.
Well,
that's what they do, man.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I like to go deep, man.
Some of them do politics, but most of them are just, just.
If they're into politics, they're in the slimy waters there.
That's right. Speaking of politics, we did tell everybody about our good friend, Mr. Andy.
Yeah, Congressman Andy Harris. He stopped in here not last week, the week before.
Week before.
And he was just thanking us for all the help we've done, and and we thanked him for the help he's done.
Yeah.
Yep. Different context, Mr. Harris.
Yeah. But we were thanking him for the help that he has done in allocating funds to the DNR for snakehead research.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he's been a big help for us as far as getting some grant money and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You got Keith Graffius in the picture too. He's a hell of a guy. He helps Andy out a lot with a lot of things, social media and things like that, and he does a great job. So, I just wanted to plug him again this week and just say, hey, thank you. You know what I mean? As far as fishing goes, a couple guys are finding a few crappie here and there. I mean, you can find a little bit of this, little bit if you move around enough. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much the whole fishing report. I do have to say, them suckers are catching fish, dude. These suckers are catching some fish. We'll talk about them later in the show.
All right. So with that, we've got this week's guest here, John Fuss. John, how you doing today, buddy?
Oh, fantastic. How are y'all doing?
Johnny John, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, man, another day in paradise down here.
You sure you can handle me for an hour or what?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try my best.
Good luck.
That's one thing about being on the phone. You can always hang up.
That's right. So, John, for those who don't know, why don't you give everybody a quick background about yourself? Tell everybody about yourself.
Well, I'm a full-time fishing guide, have been now for 11 years, and I live in South Carolina. I started coming up that direction, I want to say 2015.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, it's been a few years coming up that way to chase the siccas and having a good time with it. And 2 years ago, I noticed a fella, and y'all know him as Paul Rusu. He was on one of the bridges, and he pulled a snakehead in, and we pulled over and said, "Hey," and he was like, "Yeah, man, I just stopped here and I got 15 already." And there's something to do this, and that kind of piqued my interest. And that following March, I came up and I did real well with them. I've kind of been, into catching them since. So
It's giving you a reason to come up here other than cickadeer, huh?
Do you like eating them, John? You got some tasty recipes you might want to share with anybody? How you like to cook them?
I have I'm very fortunate to have Maya around, and she's a professional chef. So I clean them.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah. What's the address so we can get a place next door, bro?
But no, she's terrific at it. She'll break them down as well, but she can do some seriously magical things with them. But I do making fish cakes with them. I think I've seen y'all post those multiple times.
Yep.
Whether it's baked, Mr. Gary's had them baked for me when we visited this past fall, and that was fantastic too. It's kind of hard to go wrong with them. They're such a good fish, real mild and easy going.
A lot of people, they ask me all the time about value, and everything has value. And I really thank God that they've got the food value that they do.
Thankfully, because that's really their only saving grace at this point.
So, John, I know you grew up in the Philippines. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your growing up and getting here and how all that came together for you?
Well, my mom's full-blooded, so she's from there. I was born in Manila, and my dad is actually American. He's from Texas, and he was in the Peace Corps. Met her, and I spent a little bit of time there. I think we moved back stateside when I was about 6, and we moved to Texas, and then we moved to the Carolinas right there in '89. And so I've been, stateside for a good long while now, way longer than I was overseas, that's for sure.
Let me ask you this: Did you get any opportunity to do any fishing in the Philippines or anything like that?
No, but I had some vague memories of watching my dad spearfish. We were
that's cool.
All the time on the weekends, and so he was part of a dive club, and they would all get together and they would spearfish every weekend. So I have a lot of memories of the fish coming off the boat, and always liking to look in the coolers just to see. A lot of fun and a lot of different reef fish that they would shoot. So very early memories, but the earliest memories are 100% of fish coming over the rail or fish coming home. So I've always been kind of drawn to that water.
So let's talk a little bit about Holy City Charters. Let's talk about what you do. So you do some brackish fishing, you do some offshore fishing. So why don't you tell the good folks a little bit about your company, where you're at and what you like to fish for?
Well, I'm based out of Charleston, South Carolina, and we fish the estuary or our rivers. That's a lot of trout and flounder, redfish, and we see sheep's head, black drum mixed in. We'll have some seasonal fish come in as well. Ladyfish and the different mackerels. We'll have the Spanish and the king mackerel come in. If we can get off the beach and the ocean's calm, we'll push out 10 to 25 miles, and then we'll get into the amberjacks and the cobia, some of the bigger fish that we like to stretch some arms with. And of course there's a lot of sharks as well. We do catch those pretty much all summer behind the shrimp boats, and that's a crowd pleaser as well. But I take groups fishing, 6 or less, and it's a 23-foot bay boat, so it does accommodate quite well. And I kind of drive it, and I tell you where to cast, and hopefully things go right.
So how did you get into charter fishing? How did you get started with that?
I have always wanted to show somebody something cool that I had found. If I caught fish somewhere, I wanted to show somebody, and if there was a cool pattern, I would show somebody that. So as long as I can remember that I've been fishing, if I found something that I thought was interesting, I always needed to tell somebody. So
wait a minute. So you mean that you're that guy, if I ask you for help, you're going to give it to me. You're not that guy I'm going to ask for help that says, I ain't burning my spot, pack sand.
I'll tell you a whole lot about it.
I mean that's what it's about. That's how we grow. That's how we manage the relationships. Helping others. And I follow you a lot. I know Gary follows you a lot. We all follow you.
For sure.
Anybody who's met you, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier. His name's Bob Wilkerson. And he said he had the opportunity to meet you down here. And he actually texted me at 7:00 and said, hey, are you guys not doing the podcast tonight, dude? I said, yeah, man, we're running behind a little bit here. And then he told me the little story here. Let me see what it was he said to me. I just like to let people know what they think about him. And it's good stuff. It's not bad stuff, John. So it says, he said, hey, are you guys doing the podcast or what? You said it was starting at 7, dude. I know you're late all the time, so help me out. I said, yeah, we're coming in soon. We'll be on by 8. He said, I met John Feist. It's not Feist, it's Fuss, Bob, Fuss. Anyway.
I'm sure it was just autocorrect.
Right. Hey, you know what? It could be that. I'm sorry, Bob, if I was mean. So I met John Fuss plus 2 different times down there. He's a cool guy. It is. Look, what's it say in the next one?
See,
Fuss,
I told you.
Fuss, stupid phone message. I'm sorry, Bob, for being mean to you. This is the cool thing. You come here and people remember you, and they ain't seen you in a while. You know what I mean? So that says a little bit about you personally, and how good of a person I think that you are. You know what I mean? I know Mary's been down there to see you. I mean, a bunch of people have come down there to hang out with you. We appreciate you coming here and giving us the clout that you give back, the sick of deer and things like that, because that has value to us, and that's probably drawing another 2 or 3 hunters every time you say something. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, man.
How'd you do with Sika this year, by the way? I meant to ask you that when you were here earlier this week.
We had a really good time with them in October. We saw just an unbelievable amount in October. And me and my buddy Phil, we both killed a hind, and then we got picky, and we didn't kill nothing after that. Picky. Yeah, so we got real excited, and we said, we're going to come back up for Lake Muzzleloader. We came back up for Lake Muzzleloader. We spent 6 days hunting and saw 0 from the trees.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So we're still licking those wounds and ready to come back in September.
We're ready for you to come back for sure.
Yeah, me too, man. So did you see the little thing that he put the other day? I didn't even know he was in here, and I'm walking around talking to myself. I'm writing orders in my head out loud and just walking back and forth, and all of a sudden I get this text message, and it's a picture of me with my hands up in the air and looking at this and pointing at that, and lo and behold, he'd been sitting there for probably 20 minutes, and I'm just sitting there walking in circles over by the lures trying to figure out what's my next sale going to be, what am I pushing next time, So, and I know Gary enjoys when you come too,
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite fish to eat that you're catching, you're taking your clients for? If I was on the boat and I'm new to this, and I said, John, I don't know what's good to eat, man. I just want to catch what's good to eat. Where are you taking me and what are we catching?
Well, it depends on how calm the ocean is and what time of the year it is. But so just if you could just give me any time and you show up, I would almost say our redfish or our speckled trout are quite fantastic.
I was gonna say speckled trout.
I love speckled trout.
Or beat us back.
Now let me ask you this: Are you with me on this thought? Speckled trout, clean them and eat them. Don't freeze them.
I definitely agree.
Good. Okay, good. A lot of people tell me I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, trust me, I've tried it. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you go to the Gulf Coast and they freeze them all the time out there. We're not the same as the Gulf Coast guys down there in Louisiana and Texas. They are kind of trout people. They love it. But
I would probably vacuum seal them. They might be all right, but I don't like fish frozen too long anyway. Any kind.
That's right.
Is there any kind of fish down there that wasn't there, say, when you first started that you see more prevalent now with time?
I feel like with the warming trends, our black drum, I see black drum more often than I used to ever see them. I think I would catch them just about every other trip, maybe every trip, versus not seeing but maybe 5 or 6 a year 10 years ago.
No snakeheads in Carolina yet?
Not yet. Not yet. Nobody's gotten brave enough to run them.
Thank goodness.
How far from the Georgia places are you?
I'm gonna think maybe 3 hours from them.
Have you heard much down there? I mean, are they finding any more? I mean, I've been looking for articles, researching, trying to see what's going on, but I'm not seeing much. So I guess my question is, being that you're closer, is there any more hype going on about it? Are they talking about it? Has any more been caught, or just that one?
No, I think it was just that one. And long ago, actually, in the lake that I grew up on, Lake Wiley, this was long ago. There's an old news clipping of a snakehead that was caught up that way, and that caused a little bit of a ruckus with people around the lake for a little bit, but nothing ever materialized with that, thankfully.
See that, and that's kind of weird because, like, in some lakes, they seem like they can really do some stuff. Like
according to how many are put in there, it's only one.
Yep. Well, that's what I was about to say.
Well,
it depends on how early you catch them.
Let's look at Lake Anna. I got some good friends down there, the Makadas and stuff like that fish, and I've
talked a 4-foot rockfish in Lake Anna.
Yes, that's why I'm bringing this up. They're seeing the numbers, really popping off in Lake Anna in some areas, and I think the bass anglers, which they're very concerned and they have every right to be, Lake Anna is one of those lakes that can produce 12, 13-pound largemouth, and it has before, So, to see the introduction there and to hear from the guys there that are fishing that say they see them swimming in mass numbers at the power plant, so, and that's warm water in the winter, so they've got the opportunity in some lakes that they don't have in other lakes that may have a power plant, that may have like Peach Bottom Nuclear Power Plant in Pennsylvania. Man, let me tell you what, I got a buddy that works up there on the inside, and he sent me some pictures the other day of just snakehead swimming in the impoundment inside the fence where you can't fish. Man, I used to sneak in that place when I was a kid all the time, dude. I know what that place had. It was like the best walleye fish in the middle of the winter with a bottom sinker. You know what I mean? So we know we don't have them in South Carolina now. What about North Carolina? Heard anything there? I heard somebody say last week that they might have had some there.
I haven't heard anything.
Nothing or anything? Okay. So let's talk about hunting for a little bit. Sick of hunting, turkey hunting. We got turkey season coming up. You coming up here to do some turkey hunting?
If I can ever get drawn into Blackwater, I'm going to come up there and give it a whirl. I think I'm going to try it next year, but I have not tried to come up there and chase turkeys yet. It's usually a busy season.
I can tell you right now, if you want to donate $5,000 to Friends of Blackwater, I'll go talk to Mr. Rick, and we'll see if we can't pull some strings and get you a permit.
I don't think it works like that.
I know, I'm being funny. But no, a lot of people say the same thing. They wish they could get that, and get in there.
It's funny, John. It's not living here doesn't have anything to do with it. The boys I hunt with, mostly from New Jersey, it was 8 of us 2 years ago. We all put in for turkey permits for Blackwater, and I was the only one that didn't get one. so it's just how it is.
I got friends to do the bear hunts too, and they say the same thing. One of my friends got it, but me, man.
But I think turkey permits now, I think they're for First come, first serve.
Yeah, I think all of Blackwater's permits are now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They sold out of permits last year.
Yeah,
so
first
if you,
time ever.
If you ain't got a permit, you better be getting on it right now.
that's what I'm curious to see this year is with the hype starting to die down a little bit from the Meat Eater episodes. Are they going to sell out again?
I don't think it was that. I think it was COVID.
That's a big part of it too.
I really think it was COVID.
You know,
People just looking for something
Look
to
at
do
the fishing
outside.
too. I mean, our fishing was
Oh, my-
unreal. You know, I mean,
And it already is this year too.
oh my God. I mean, we're grateful for that. I'll tell you
For
that.
sure.
And this Saturday we're going to be up at Anglers up
Yep.
there. You know, we'll be up there with that. What's that special lure we got now, Gary? You know what I'm talking about?
That little guy there.
Oh man, is that a little splatter bait from Daryl Willie?
Yeah, that's what I caught my perch on the other day.
That's your favorite lure in the world,
I
isn't it?
love them things, man.
So we will have Snakehead Destroyer swim baits up there at Anglers.
Is Daryl going to be there Saturday?
Daryl's going to be there also, yes. Damien Taw, we've got him committed. Believe it or not, he's going to be there slinging bait, so that should be pretty fun.
And actually, I just talked to Dave Sikorsky earlier
Yeah.
today. Hey, he's going to be there as well with us. So
I'm gonna bring his boots to him. I've had his boots for a year.
How much you want for him?
They're not that good.
Yeah, give him away then. I don't want him.
That's some big shoes, Phil. Anyway, I got his cooler and his boots.
I think Dave would be happy to let you walk a day in his boots.
I don't want to. My days are already crazy. So, John, hunting-wise, have you done any trips? Have you? I mean, I know you hunt other places. What is your
He's
most?
a hog hunter too.
Yeah. What is your most memorable hunt that you've had so far? Living the dash, man. You know what I mean? What's your most memorable hunt? Your most favorite hunt you ever had? You got one?
Yeah, I'm very privileged to have a bunch of hunts under my belt. I've chased elk in Utah, and I've chased the siccas there, and we've chased whitetail and hogs here. But the first sicca hunt ever, when we came up there the first time, was pretty amazing. A buddy of mine, we drove in on the back side of a hurricane as it was pulling out, and it dropped the temperature down to 42 degrees the first morning we were there. And a friend of ours had sent us a Google pin, and we had no idea how to get to this place. He was like, this island out there in the frag looks fantastic. This is where y'all need to go. So it's 4 a.m. when we can finally get in the refuge, and we're trying to fish this thing with cell phones. And we finally make our way to where we need to be. And it was unreal. There was so much commotion going on with the stags and the hinds talking. And to this date, I've never heard them bugling like that. But the first stag that cracked off did it at about 40 yards from us, and we never saw it. But it almost took us out of the tree. It was fantastic. I won't forget that. I won't forget the smell of the marsh, and I won't forget the Phragmites, and all just the neat stuff. It's very similar to my home. It's very similar to Charleston, but it's also very different. So it's great.
I can kind of I haven't been where you are to Charleston, but I've been down to Beaufort, and there were so many places there that I saw that reminded me of here.
Well, you got that salt marsh there.
Yep.
Those little creeks
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah.
They're sick of there when they bugle off like that and you don't see them. It's almost like their ventriloquist and their voice. You wonder where he's at. Just throwing that voice, they make you think that he's somewhere else.
I can tell you, my first time I ever hunted sicca was over at Button's Neck, and we all had walkie-talkies, whatever. And it was not quite light yet, and that sucker was so close to me. Then when it bugled, I thought a lady was screaming for help. Seriously. So I get on the radio. I'm like,
I think you heard a peacock, not a cicadere.
I don't live by you. But no, so I radioed to my Uncle Wayne, like, hey, did you hear that? He's like, what is that? That lady screaming. He goes, what lady screaming? I was like, she's somewhere between me and you. She sounds like she needs help. She yelled 3 times. He's like, I did not hear a lady scream. And then it did it again. I went, there's dude, she's right between me and you somewhere. She needs help. I'm getting down and I'm going. He goes, you dumbass, that's a cicadere. Stay in that stand. Don't you move. I wasn't the smartest hunter in the beginning, John. I'm still not. I mean, I'm not a seasoned hunter, period. But in the beginning, man, I really loved hunting. And for me, what's kind of happened is we got into the snakehead thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got the second dog. Now my life is controlled by dogs. So this year,
Yeah, she definitely controls you.
oh God. So this year, I didn't get to hunt for squat, man. This is the first year that I just didn't get to do it. So I'm hoping next year that Molly straightens up a little bit. If not, we're going to move on to the duct tape treatment, and we'll just duct tape her. No, I'm just kidding. I'll go to jail for that. I'm just saying. She's a terror, man, but I love her,
I wonder where she gets it from, Kaz.
You know what? Somebody said the other day, said, that dog is just as neurotic as you are, man. It's just as scatterbrained as you are. Look at it, man. I was like, huh. He said, look at your other dog, man. She's all stressed out, barking crazy like you are. It's like you two are talking together. So, yeah, I think you're right, man, Gary, I'm thinking we should give away something. What do you think?
I think it's a good time for a giveaway.
So, for those everybody doesn't know, we've got a massive snakehead tournament coming to the Upper Beck.
That's right.
And it's on August the 14th, and I put a post up last night with everything, So the Maryland Waterways, they're playing a big role in this, a nonprofit organization. They care about the quality of water. They care about the ecosystem. They care about the impact. So, we want to say thank you to the Maryland Waterways for everything you're doing, too. So that's August 14th at Flying Point Park. For the kayakers, we even got a special place for kayakers. You're going to go out of Joppa Town, Mariner Point Park. And you know who's going to handle that? My good friend, Mr. Roy Boyd. So that's going to be fun, too. So let's how many prizes you want to pick? I think I got like 18 or 20 here. I don't know.
Let's do 2.
2? Let's do 2.
2's a good start.
John can't win, so John, don't leave any comments.
You got it.
It's a 65 Buick Skylark.
Holy moly, look at the chrome on that.
Special reserve here.
Special reserve.
5-inch grub.
From old school.
Old school. Yes, sir,
Old
buddy.
school tackle. All right, so look.
Old school.
So,
Is that one of those one runs?
yes. So let's tell everybody about the one run. So we're going to be offering to you guys, every month, every couple of weeks. What Brian does is when he pours a mold or pours a color, he has to trim some stuff off of it. So what we'll do with that is once we have a 5-gallon bucket of trimmings, we'll go ahead and recycle that instead of throwing it in the trash and putting it in the landfill somewhere that's not going to,
What if he's only got 4.5 gallons?
Same thing.
We're still running it, man.
Just not as many.
You hear what I say? You don't know if you don't go. You don't know if you don't run them, right?
Don't go there again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. God, man, that's so much fun here. So the one runs basically is we're just going to run whatever's in that bucket, melt it down. Whatever color comes out, that's the color that comes out. And we're going to do it as a one run. And we're going to offer it as a special here at the Wolford store. We're trying to work out the numbers right now, what we're doing with them. But it's a great way to have a color that nobody else has, and you could be somewhere with a color that nobody else has, catching all the fish where everybody's looking at you and then sell them things for $5 a piece.
First person to put Kaz is last name.
Kaz's last name. All you got to do is put Kaz's last name in the comments, and that pack of special reserve is yours.
All right, so how about we'll do one more. You want to give away something else?
I'm ready. Oh, got a koozie.
Oh, man, from the Wolford store.
There you go.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So, Eddie, tell them what we're going to do. We're going to have every weekend, we're going to have somebody on hand here for a couple hours.
Except for this weekend. This weekend we're going to be at Anglers, so it won't be
This weekend we'll be at Anglers on Saturday. Crab season starts this week, so I will have crabs at the crab stand tomorrow. This is going to work out really, really good for everybody.
So Saturdays, we're basically through lunchtime, we're going to have at least one of us, preferably more if we can make it work. Just going to be here hanging out. If you got questions about snakehead fishing or anything sticking
lures,
around,
how to pair a rod with a reel. Yep. I mean, we're going to be here to help you because that's what we want to do. We're not getting paid to come here and hang out. We're just coming here so that we can help you be successful.
He's actually paying me to stay in here.
He pays me to leave all the time.
That's right.
It makes you professional.
I get a lot of payment from Eddie. Payments to shut up, payment to leave, payment to mind my business.
But yeah, so the first one to say, I love cheesesteaks. You get the koozie.
There you go. John, tell us about another hunt you've been on. Tell us about a hog hunt. What's your most memorable hog hunt?
Ooh, memorable hog hunt. There's been quite a few of those things.
Have you ever been attacked, man?
Have I what?
Have you ever been attacked by one like you see on YouTube and all that shit every now and then?
No, I really think you need to put one of those things between you and a hard place, because if they can't go anywhere, they're going to try and go through you. Otherwise, they're pretty skittish animals.
Right.
You really got to, not give them an out. I guess, honestly, my more memorable hunts have been watching other folks shoot their, first hogs or.
Man, I love your attitude, man.
What's the biggest hog you shot?
I got a real good one with a rifle a few years back in our public woods, and it was right around 275. It might have been that was a good size one. And then I shot one with my bow last year before last, and that was a good one. That was probably around 200 pounds on that one there. Those are two of the bigger ones I've
Yeah, I want to shoot
shot.
one with my Raven bad.
You need to come down and see me then.
I am, buddy. I am.
Come on.
Turkeys. So where are you with your slam? How many different species of turkeys have you got?
I've only chased Easterns, and I've only chased them in South Carolina. We've got a pretty special bird from the Francis Marion National Forest here, and when they repopulated our turkeys up and down the East Coast, many of those birds were actually taken by net from our forest and used to repopulate other states.
How about that?
So I've been chasing those for a good long while, and I really haven't traveled to chase turkeys. I always kind of put my eggs in the Sika basket anymore if I'm going to go anywhere.
I like that answer.
So our good friend Jim Zumbo, he was telling me all about elk hunting and all that, and the adrenaline rush and this and that, and I would like to go hunt elk, but I really believe that if a 2,000-pound animal pulled out from behind a tree 3 feet from me, I ain't shooting nothing. I'm running. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's probably the only big game that I would have any interest in.
Yeah.
I'd like to go elk hunting, but all the other big game, I'm not really interested.
I'll tell you what I really want to go hunt is red stag.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is probably real stupid. But when I was drinking and I was a full-blown alcoholic, I drank 2/5 of this whiskey only because it had a deer on it, and it was called red stag. And that was my drink,
I think the big game I really want to chase is caribou. That's
yeah.
I remember caribou was all Dad went hunting. He traveled a lot for hunting and stuff like that when I was younger. And my favorite meat that he ever brought back was caribou meat.
I love
and
caribou.
My God,
too.
it was delicious, and I'd like to get some for myself.
I had a friend who went to Newfoundland last year to
Yeah.
hunt upland caribou, I think they're called. Man, he sent me back a whole cooler of that stuff. It was amazing. John, you said you were talking about elk hunting. Have you had the opportunity? What's up with you and elk? You killed any?
I have. I hunted Utah with a friend, and it was a lot of fun. I was very close to a lot of bugling elk. They're really neat, and I tell you what, altitude is a killer when you live below sea level.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
You ain't kidding.
And it's very different, but it's interesting though, because I was close to a lot of bugling elk for a week, and then I took a week break, and then I came up to see y'all, and I had Sikas bugling around me, and I think those little 100-pound Sikas can throw a bugle just as hard as a 700 or 800-pound elk.
For sure, that's 100% true.
I don't know anything about elk, so I wouldn't be able to confirm the comparison, but it would make sense to me. You know what I mean?
They throw it at the same, just a higher pitch, same decibel level, higher pitched. And honestly, I think the Sikas taste a little better. You definitely don't get winded. It is a difficult hunt out west, but it's also difficult on the eastern shore. So they just have a degree of difficulty that'll kind of mental game for both of them.
So what other hunts have you been on? I mean, let's talk about everything, man. What else you'd like to shoot?
Alligators? Shot an alligator?
We've killed multiple alligators. Got some real funny stories about them that I'd have to tell you at the campfire.
Oh, never mind.
That's one for off the air, huh?
It's a good one, but no, we've hunted them almost every season for the first 5 seasons they were in, and we were successful. I think all but one season, and we've gotten, we know the water quite well. So if anybody draws a tag, I always tell them just to give us a call, either me or my buddy Riz. We can square it up and get you out there after them.
But, you got alligators in South Carolina, right?
Yep. Absolutely. You got a draw tag, and it's probably a 3-year draw anymore. I remember you draw it in the second year if you put in for about the first 2 seasons, but now it might even be 4 years out if you you got to keep putting in for the preference points. But it's quite fun. It's a social hunt. It's not super quiet and not nearly as stalking and stealthy as other things, but it's quite different, but it's thrilling.
I'm always amazed to watch them on TV. They shoot them in the water, from 100 yards. We were always taught you never shoot on the water.
Right.
Right.
Shotgun shell maybe, but not a rifle.
That's it. That's it. They have to be here. That you've got to fix them to something, either whether it's a spear or a bow and arrow with a reel on it, or something to that nature, or even a snatch hook. You can cast a big treble hook across them.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I've seen him do that with his big spinning reels.
Have you ever done that, John?
Yes, we've caught several that way. Most of them have been taken with archery tackle though. The biggest one was 11'6", and that was the first one we ever got, and that was a big one.
That's
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Shoot him, John. Shoot him.
Do you enjoy eating gator?
It's okay. I think it's a novelty. It's fun to eat when you got a bunch of buddies that are going to come over and you can just cook some up. But I don't particularly go searching it out because I'm looking to eat alligator that evening.
I can't lie. I love eating it.
You have iguanas down there? Or
We don't. We get a little too old for that.
I was just watching the other night. I was watching TV and they were shooting iguanas with a blowgun down in
Yeah, I
Florida.
saw that too.
That was cool.
Yep. A couple friends of ours had just went down there and done that. I think multiple sets of people that we all know have been down there. I think Jen Cubbage just got back from doing that not too long ago.
Yeah, I think I could get into that. I've got a blowgun. I'm pretty good with it actually, but I don't have a bigger one like they were using. But you can always upgrade.
Well, you got to upgrade yours anyway. So for snakehead.
Yeah.
Oh, are you gonna try to blow gun a snakehead?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I speared a bunch of them last year. I got a gig on the end of it's a painting pole, an expandable painting pole. It works great. You reach out there like 16, 18 feet, pop them. I did pretty good last year.
So what else have you hunted? You got any other good stories that you could tell us? Rattlesnakes, anything like that?
No, I kind of stick to the bigger stuff anymore.
I don't blame you. I'd stay away from the snakes too.
So have you hunted caribou or anything other than the elk?
No, I have not.
No pronghorn, no none of that.
No, those are all bucket list. The caribou is definitely high up there. That's I'm kind of thinking about that.
I'll tell you what, I'd be into doing it. I think if you wanted to put together a trip for 4 of us, I'd be in.
I'd love to go.
That's what I'm saying. I'll go. Shit.
Well, yep.
we could probably get a couple sponsors to pay for the trip anyway. You know what I mean? So.
Find that.
Yeah. If you can find that, sign us up.
Right. You mean we're not millionaires here?
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
I think if you just look at the vehicle that each of us drive, I think that explains it all right there. You look at Kaz's truck, my truck, and Gary's Jeep. It's
well,
I
blame my truck on Molly. She's ate all the sun visors off every window now, so they're all gone now. It looks like I've got broken visors around every window. No seatbelts left. No, I'm just kidding. You know?
Before I forget, I didn't announce last week's Mepps Angler Spotlight of the Week, and this is Josh Jordan. This was his first snakehead of the year. This was supposed to be last week's Angler of the Week, but it's this week's Mepps Angler of the Week. So that's Josh Jordan. Stop here in the store, pick up your Mepps.
You want to give away something else again?
Yeah, give it away while we're at it, for sure.
Got to give it away to keep it, man. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's how that works, but we'll go.
That is how it works. Believe me, bro.
Oh, there's something big this time. Good God. Oh, it's another pack.
I'm a little scared.
Oh, another special reserve.
Yep, special reserve.
So in the comments, this is what I want you to write. I'm kicking it old school.
There you go.
There you go.
And you can have that bag of baits. John, take your comment down. That you don't count. I told you that. One more. Come on, let's get another one. Let's go.
Oh, man, I can't get hold of it. Oh, man.
Oh.
I'll tell you what. That's
It's candy.
No.
That's
I
beautiful.
want you to read the color, man. That's one of my
This
favorite
color
colors.
is hammer. No.
That's not the color.
Pretty serious. Oh, it's yeah. How about that? Acid trip.
Look, I saw that and I said to Brian, I knew what you did when you was a teenager. He goes, honestly, no, I never did none of that stuff my whole life.
It's far out, man.
I bet that will catch though. That is
Dude,
beautiful.
look, I took a bag of them down to my rockfish spot and I wore them out, dude. I ain't kidding you, man. I wore them out on that. And that's a one run.
Yep.
Isn't it? Is that one of the one runs?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not a one.
No. The acid trip is one of his normal colors.
Okay, so
All right, you want
that's
the
a
acid
standard
trip?
color. Yep.
First person to says Mr. Natural.
Mr. Natural.
You guys won't know who it is, but anybody my age will.
That's right. So John, let's talk about your family, man. So is the family pretty involved with the stuff that you do? You make that a big part of what you do? We know the answer. I'm just making talk for the people out there that don't know you. That's all.
I try. I do the best I can with what I got. I got, my little boy, he's almost 4, so he's all gas and no brakes. And,
Sounds like me.
So it's about time for him to get ready to catch a snakehead anyway.
Yeah.
buddy, you just wait. I'm gonna give him a couple of years, and he's gonna be riding with me.
How old is he now?
He's almost 4. He'll be 4 in June. So,
Joey started bringing Cody down when he was 4.
That's perfect.
He's full tilt now.
Good. That's fantastic. And I just want to, just want to kind of whet his appetite and leave him hungry. So little short trips, and I like it when he says he doesn't want to go home yet, and it's good.
You know what he reminds me of when I see him? He reminds me of me when I was like 8, 9 years old and I got my skateboard. I wanted my hair to be. I didn't want a haircut no more. I didn't want you know what I mean. I see that little and all the energy and gas he's got.
On behalf of everybody else, I'm sorry.
What a dick. No, I'm just kidding. God, they beat the shit out of me here, don't they? So look, so here we're 45 minutes in. Let's do some Snakehead 101. How about that? You want to talk about a couple things?
Let's go.
Okay, so we have any of these left, or are they gone?
I've got more coming.
Okay, so we told you that sucker right there was going to be something. And let me just tell you what.
The fish those caught.
This is my new ditch pitch. That's what I'm going to call her.
Ditch pitch?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So, look at the bottom there. It's got a nice yellow color to it. Let me tell you what I like about this thing. You can walk the dog with this sucker, and it's unbelievable, dude. I do have to say this. A lot of people always say stuff about the weight coming out. Here's what you do. Before you even cast this lure, seam that seam with super glue, and it'll last 40, 50 casts.
Yep.
It'll last more than 2 or 3 fish. There's lots of hacks to these baits that you can do, all these baits. I'm going to get right to the elastics next because they have been smoking them on this.
Oh, man.
Here's the elastics again. This stuff is just. I'm pulling as hard as I can.
The other day that's actually silicone, not.
It's made from masks that they use in Hollywood.
The same
like fake skin and all that stuff.
The same stuff that they make those out of. Yeah.
So that was a hot lure when we got a little warm. Now the guys that were top water fishing that bought them here, and I told them about them, they smoked them. You guys know that I love this Savage Gear 3D Rat, and it's so good looking. But here's the thing.
It's funny. I prefer the live targets over the Savage Gears.
I know you do, and there's nothing wrong with that because they're great baits. You know what I mean? But the thing about this is this is how
that one definitely has a better action.
It has great action, great weight.
I just like the look of the live targets better.
But what I like to tell people, and I don't know if you do this with some of your stuff, John, but like this tail here, if you look at it, how it sits in there. It's just bonded in there, almost like it's melted in there. So for my hack, what I do is I get Zoom trick worms, and that's what I use to replace the tail. Just use a little piece. I take a fillet knife and I cut it thin so it'll move real easy. And then what I do is I take a lighter. I get just the end of it hot, and if you can look and see on this bait here, there's a little hole right here that this tail slides into. There's your replacement tail that they send you in the pack that if you're going to order, you got to pay big money to get. I'm not trying to take anything from that. I'm trying to help the guy that can't afford to order the $5.99 pack of tails. So a Zoom trick worm, cut it in the slits, get it hot with a lighter, shove it in that hole. It'll be in there for a while because you've melted it to the bait. And when it does finally get pulled free, just pick up another one of them little plastic strips, melt it with your lighter, stick it there, and go back to work. So, this has been really hot on the warm days. A lot of guys, the Whopper Plopper 75. For the people that really know me, know that the Whopper Plopper was all I used.
That's all you used for probably 3 years.
Yeah, seriously. When I was with Chris and over there at Big Bass USA, every time I'd leave a show, I'd say, man, can I get some of them take with me, man? Yeah, man, here you go, brother. I had to have them. This one, the 90... The 140, they all work great. A lot of people look at that 140 and like, man, that thing's just too big. You know what? Look at the carp that came out of these fish, and you tell me it's too big. Because when I would walk out on Aries Road with my rod and have a 140, a 14-inch musky lure, a 9-inch sassy shad, first thing people would say to me is, dude, what are you fishing for? I'd say snakeheads. They're like, really? Why? Why so big? I said, look, man, I'm not going to catch 40 fish, but I'm going to catch 5 fish that are going to weigh more than your 40 fish. Maybe that's a little not good comparison, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
It's funny. You know, I've never caught a snakehead on a whopper popper.
Right?
Me either.
There's so many people that I talk to, you know?
I got a couple hits, and I've slowed them down, and I've done all the stuff everybody says to do. Never got a hit.
It's funny. There's people who swear by them, and then there's people who cannot catch a snakehead on a whopper popper. It's one or the other. There's no in between.
I'll tell you where this son of a gun is good. Rock fishing when you're on top.
Well, there you go. I've caught other stuff on it, but I've not caught.
I mean, I ain't kidding you. There's another lure that Brett turned me on to. It was called a badonkadonk. Like the dance, right? It's real, dude. It's a real lure. It's made by Bomber. It's called the badonkadonk. He showed me that, and man, I just fell in love with that thing.
I'm not surprised by any fish lure
So,
names
you know,
anymore.
the non-Thaberry we're just about sold out of already.
Yep, we talked to Brady. Brady said it's going to be a couple weeks before we get some more.
And you know, if you're asking me if they work, do you think that we sold out in 4 days because they weren't working? We sold out in 4 days because everybody I was giving 1 or 2 of these to and telling them to go to a ditch and throw it was catching 10, 20 fish and coming back and buying 4 or 5 for the next trip, you know? Again, same thing. I like this lure because I can just steady retrieve it. I can stop it. I can fish it a bunch of different ways. The plastic's fairly sturdy. I didn't have any baits that I had to throw in the trash when I was done using them, and nobody else did either. The one guy that came back, you know, he said to me, hey, man, he says, I got 3 fish on this thing, but look at this thing. I said, dude, your fish are 12-pound fish. What do you expect? Look at the teeth on that compared to these 18-inchers, man. I said, give it to me. And I took super glue, and I just patched all his little bite mark holes back up. I said, here, man.
He didn't say what it looked like after he was done, though.
Yeah, I said, here, you're good for another 20 fish. Go and get some more.
Now you got a Franken lure.
Frankenbait.
Frankenbait. I'm almost done through this. We want to talk about hooks because everybody's been messaging me on Facebook. The hook. What I use for Snakehead Destroyers. What I use for Snakehead Destroyers from Damien and the Bait Boys. Why not Eagle Claw bait holder hook? That's all I use. So, you know, if you're going to use, you want a 1.5 to 1 3/4 inch round bobber, weighted bobber. I only clip the bottom weighted side. I do not clip the top side of the bobber, and then I leave a leader starting wherever I think the depth is that I need to start and then adjust accordingly as I go.
Hey, John Fuss, you still there?
All right, so that's enough of Snakehead 101. Back to John. So, John, as far as openings go this year, what are you looking like as far as bookings? You got some stuff open, some people can contact you that you can get them on the water, or are you pretty booked up already?
No, I've got some openings, especially into the summer right now. Those will fill quite fast after about May kicks in. And, you know, with everything going on in the world, I think we'll have a little bit more back season this year, and people are scared. But yeah, you know, two weeks notice maybe. As it gets closer to June, you may want to, you know, if it's going to be a summertime thing, may want to call sooner than later.
This is going to be the magic question. We're going to get it sooner or later. How much you charge, John?
Oh, it's all on my website, buddy.
Okay, so we want you to go to the website. You can find the answers to your questions there. Instead of messaging me and asking me for the price.
What's the website, John?
It is holycityfishing.net.
Is that what they call Charleston, Holy City?
It is. It was the church steeples in downtown. There were so many of them. Essentially, that's what they call it.
I was going to ask you what the name was about and what it was. You know, so that's cool. The history of that.
Yeah, a lot of religious freedom long ago, and different denominations of churches popped up, and there was a lot.
So if I'm coming fishing with you, what do I need to bring with me?
Good attitude, mediocre attitude, even.
And a
no
tip.
banana.
And no banana. And a tip. So you can take up to 6 people. We can fish for, let's give a rundown again of all the fish that we can come catch with you.
Trout or speckled trout, flounder, redfish, black drum, sheep's head, Spanish mackerel, king mackerel, cobia, sharks, ladyfish.
I was hoping you'd forget that one because that was the only one I remembered.
Yeah. And we do get other odds and ends that I that I probably didn't name, but those are pretty. That's pretty solid run of species right there. We're fortunate to have a lot of species down here.
Have you caught a Opa yet?
I have not.
I didn't even know what the hell that thing was till they broke the record and it was all over Facebook. I said, holy moly, look at this goldfish in the ocean, man.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. They're funny looking.
You want to give away 2 more things real quick? We're getting up to an hour. We're going to have to get out of here soon, so let's start rolling through some prizes.
All right.
John, you don't even know what it is yet. What do you mean I want that?
There we go. It's more old school.
Oh, look at that. Now,
I like these.
Now, let's talk about something on this bait here, okay? So we have not released this bait yet. This is another prototype that we're working with.
Right.
We've got a couple things we're trying to work out with this thing, but this will be another swim bait offered in the Snakehead Destroyer line.
Yep.
So
this is an old school shiner.
Yep.
Yep. So, but that's in the Snakehead Destroyer with a chartreuse tail there.
Right.
And this actually has a little bit. These tails on these baits, a lot of people have been asking. They're bonded. That's what they are. They're bonded. So the way it's seamed together, and you can reach out to Brian, and he can explain that to you. About the bonding and why it's better to bond than it is to do whatever directly pour or whatever he was saying. So. So make sure you check that
how
out.
You get the color different.
Yeah, I mean this is just that's actually
what do they got to
a good
say?
color right there. I don't know.
How about I want that?
Yeah, there you go. Easy. I want that. And then we'll do another one.
All right.
Oh, that's one of my
you sold
favorites.
out.
Right? Nah, I was
Didn't
hiding
sell
them.
out.
I was hiding a few here to get away. So there you go. You that's
Little
Mr.
green
Brady
frog.
Feltz there. That not the bird Chanadai. I mean, that's just. I mean, I like that little thing right there too. I've been using that. I got to tell you, these have been a hot ditch lure for me. Woo! I know. Did you just burn yourself, Gary?
Yes, sir, buddy. Plastic's melting.
What do they got to say?
I love Brady. How's that?
Easy enough.
Okay.
All right, John, is there anything that we haven't talked about today that you think that you would want to mention to us or to the guys and girls that are listening out there today? Is there anything that we may not have asked that you think is important that they should know?
No, I've just really enjoyed y'all having me on there.
Oh, man, I love you. I
We
love
appreciate you coming
I
on,
love you.
man.
So let me ask you a loaded question.
Sure, shoot.
What's your favorite pizza?
What's my favorite pizza? Oh, that's a good one. Definitely from Ava's.
From where? Hold on, from where?
Oh, it was.
From Ava's over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And the chef's choice over there is a good one. That's not a bad one at all. So that right there is kind of a favorite.
So you're telling me that's a top secret pizza. You can't tell me what's on it. I get it. You're protecting
It's on
pizza,
the
bro.
menu, isn't it, John?
It's okay to protect pizza, bro. I don't know. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
For sure.
Okay, so let's talk about a couple more things before we jump off here.
Yep.
Go.
So we got the tournaments. Just a reminder of the dates. First one is a month away from today, May 1st. Snakehead Spring Kickoff. June 19th, Snakehead Mayhem Tournament. July 31st, Snakehead Summer Slam. September 18th, the Blackwater Snakehead Open. That is the grand finale of the Snakehead Championship Series.
And currently our world champion is who?
Our reigning Angler of the Year for, well, it's 2 years, but since we didn't have
anything last
didn't
year.
have anything last year with COVID, is Wayne Waters. He's still holding that belt.
He's who you got to knock off, and that's
Yep.
not going to be an easy person to knock off because let me tell you what, he's been doing even more homework this year, and he's done the last 4.
For sure. So for those of you who don't know, registration is live. You can find the link in the description below. Check out Blackwater's Edge Facebook page. And it's $50 to enter, and each Calcutta is another $10 if you, and those are optional, of course. But registration is live.
And if they sign up for all 4 tournaments,
Yes,
they
free.
get what?
You get into the Snakehead Club for free, and we're still it's going to be up by the tournament. So
Absolutely.
We're working on it still.
So a few things we got to work out there, which I think we can,
Yep.
and we've got a few other people that we can have at our disposal to help us now.
Yep.
So that's good to know. What else? Anything? August 14th, we got the tournament at
Yes,
Flying
August
Point.
14th. Yep.
And you got Roy Boyd. He's going to handle handle Mariner Point Park with the kayaks, and I'm going to bounce back and forth between both of them because they're only 15 minutes apart. So,
Right.
I'll be at some point down in Joppatown to hang out with Roy and see my friend of 30 years, and have a good day. So,
Anyone more?
no one more, but I want you to know this: opening day crab season was today. We found a few.
Not just a few.
I'm gonna have them tomorrow up at the crab stand.
Before you give them away, I want to announce the.
Well, I'm not giving away any
Okay.
crabs this week. We're gonna give them away on next week's podcast. This is the weekend to win a free bushel.
Okay.
So what they have to do is I gave them a lot of opportunities to share to get their name into the name pooler app, name picker app, and if they share on our platforms for the podcast, or if they share something here, then all those shares come to me and I put them right in the name picker app. So you've got so many angles to win crabs this year, it's not funny. And so many angles to win free lures on the Blackwater's Edge podcast,
Yep.
So we got a lot of new things we're doing this year, and we're doing this because we want to say thank you.
Let me announce the winners to all of our giveaways day. Then you can do your little crabby jingle, and we'll get out of here.
I'm sure John's tired.
So
He had a
the
double trip today.
first pack of Special Reserve baits went to Wayne Waters, the reigning angler of the year.
Oh, hey!
Ta-da!
The winner of the koozie was, and I hope I don't butcher this name, was Tony Olesguk.
You won anyway, Tony.
That's right. The second pack of Special Reserves went to David Green.
Kapow!
The pack of the acid trips went to Robert Wilkinson.
I'll hang out with you, brother.
The pack of old school baits with the chartreuse tail, the Snakehead Destroyers with the chartreuse tail, went to Jeremy Delanoy. And the Knott's Berry bait went to Eric Brown.
Kapow! So how many baits was that we gave away? How many
1, 2,
prizes we
3.
gave away?
That was 6 right there.
6. So the crabs is number 7.
Yep.
Before we go, let's grab 2 more baits before we get out of here. Let's make it 10. I like the number. What do we got? How many?
You need 3 more if you want to get 10. If you include.
Let's go 10. You want to go 10, Gary? Let's go
Yeah.
10. Go big or
Okay,
go
go
home,
for it.
man. All right.
I'm going to snatch out 3 at one time.
There you go.
Oh, 4 or 5.
That's 18, dude.
Another,
Uh-oh. Another one of those baits
another
from
one of
Brady
Brady's
Phelps.
belts. Yep.
What do you think, man? Bullfrog?
Green frog.
Green frog. Green frog. Just write green frog in the comments. You can have that.
Green frog. There you go.
What you got
All
there?
right.
What's that there?
Some
Oh.
more old school. These are.
That's a hot color right there, bro. Them rockfish love that color. Them speckled trout, them drum love
I
that.
have my
bait.
glasses on, but I think it says Blarney Stone.
Bologna stone?
Blarney.
Blarney
Irish,
stone.
Yeah. The little Irish stone everybody's supposed to rub and get
Look
luck
that
or
up in the
something.
light. I can see the light reflecting through that, man. Good.
What do they got to say for the Blarney Stone?
I love Barney.
That's not what they got to say. We're not doing that.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
How about
I wish I won those.
I wish I was Barney?
no?
Irish.
Irish I won. I like
Yeah.
that. Irish I won.
Irish I won. Put it in the
Okay,
comment.
last
You can
thing
have that.
here. Some more old school. These are 5-inch grubs. Green grubs.
Oh, they're wonderful. I'll tell you where I gave some to a friend that used them was up at Peach Bottom at the power plant. He said he was catching
Got some cool little
wipers
glitter
like
in
you wouldn't believe on it, man.
them. Look, you
And
can see them. They got
walleye.
some little gold glitter in there that's just going off in the light.
What do you want to say?
Let's go with.
Give me the green.
Give me the green.
Well, I guess that's about it for today.
That's
We'll hold everything. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's give away the bag.
all right.
On behalf of the Maryland Waterways Foundation, you may have a Maryland Waterways tote. Okay, good thing to throw 2 boxes of tackle in while you're walking down Key Wallace with just what you need, 2 rods.
Slightly used, but only new merchandise.
I mean, it's been used by us. You don't think they want it? No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't want anything used by me, half of it anyway.
All right. The second Not to Bury went to Kyle Lee.
Kapow!
The Blarney Stone went to Paul Batters.
Kapow! Hey, Paul!
And the 5-inch grub went to Karen Myers.
Kapow! Karen, how are you, honey? Hey, we forgot about this. I love Maryland Waterways. I love Maryland Waterways. And if you tag the Maryland Waterways Foundation, I'll even throw in a sticker from Brady.
There you go.
So tag them in them comments when you say, I love Maryland
Right in the
Waterways.
back.
Drop your sticker right in there because I'm sure they'll do it. All right, Kaz, send us off with a jingle.
Folks, I hope I see a lot of you out there this weekend buying crabs. I know I'm going to have crabs. I'm going to probably have some oysters. May have some other funny stuff there that you guys might like to get. Like I might bring some scallops. I might bring some alligator loin or something like that for my friend John.
Alligator loin.
Well, hey, that's what it is. He just says that's what it says on the package. So when you use the word loin with alligator, they buy it. If I say, hey, man, you want some alligator? Ew, hell no, man. I ain't eating that ugly thing. It's like snakehead, you know? Maybe we should call it snakehead loin.
It's not a bad marketing.
Always got the sales pitch.
Hey, we can have that at the Snakehead Depot, bro. Anyway. Look, folks, we appreciate you listening today. I can't thank you enough for all that you guys are doing to spread the word about the podcast. You know, we're trying to keep the guests entertaining, to keep you excited to come watch. Be sure you check out my friend Leroy Heisen's page over there. He's set up a family and kids page for snakehead fishing. I thought that was very commendable of him, and I appreciate him very much. I've known him here coming for a couple of years
pics
now.
on there too.
Yeah. So if you got kids and things like that, you want to get them involved in snakehead fishing, go ahead and join that page. In the meantime, let me leave you with a little crabby jingle. My crabs, they have 3 first names. It's heavy, full, and fat. My crabs, they have a 4th name. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely mustard packed. So if you ask me where they're from, they're 100% guaranteed Maryland crabs. That's all you need to know from right here on the Eastern Shore. No, I'm not telling you where we're catching them. So I will see you there tomorrow. My crabs, they have 3 first names. It's heavy, full, and fat. My crabs, they have a 4th name. Absolutely mustard packed. So if you ask me where they're from, they're 100% guaranteed Maryland #1s. At the crab stand, here's a fact I know for sure you're coming back. Kapow! Kapow! Kapow!